Hey, what's up, everybody? Before we even talk about the video today, as you can see, obviously, finally, I'm doing a video on Stadia. But like I said, before the video even started, I wanted to say that going forward, my videos are probably going to be drastically different. Not really on any content or anything like that, but mostly just due to language. For most people who really know me, most people in the Almost in Full Color family, and everyone who watches me stream, knows that my language is very not PG. It's bad, but I mean it's me, it's what I do, so I feel like when I make these videos and I'm worried about like what I'm saying and what I'm not saying and things like that, like it actually makes it more difficult for me to do the video because I'm almost like putting the governor on myself, so you don't even get like that full gains effect. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up, just in case that ain't your thing. Like if you don't really like that type of language, that's cool. That's why I didn't want to just spring it on people. Just want to let everybody know, like, hey, that part's going to change. So if that's not your thing, like I said, it gives you a chance to go ahead and tune out. You can tune into Roger, Keith, and Terry stuff. Obviously, they don't speak nowhere nearly as bad as I do. So kudos for them for actually being good gentlemen on that. That's not my strong point, I guess. But yeah, so going forward, the language is not gonna be too harsh, but it's gonna be bad. I know that. But I feel like it'll make my content better for the people who actually do like to watch what I put out. You actually get me, actual gains. So yeah, but that's it. So let's go ahead and talk about Stadia. All right, motherfuckers. Now we back. Didn't take too long at all to get that cussing out the way, did it? Ah, feels so good to cuss. Yes. But nah. Matter of fact, I've been waiting to do this video for a minute because everybody I seen on YouTube, like everybody, big channels, other small channels, like everybody was trashing Stadia, and I'm sitting here like, this is not my experience. Like, what are these people playing? So as you've seen, if hopefully you guys watch it, if not, go back watch Roger's stuff. Link up there somewhere. Roger did a video on Stadia, and he did pretty much comparing Stadia to PCs. Mostly because Roger's a PC gamer, so I decided, you know what, I didn't really want to speak to Roger much about like, what his experience was, because I didn't want to influence anything that he was thinking. And also it kept like, I guess mine pretty unbiased as well. I guess the only bias I have is that I do like innovation and I do like new technology. So I'm like, well shit, this is the best that you can fucking get when it comes to innovating for video games, especially when it comes to like the convenience standpoint. And that's really what I want to touch on mostly on this video, is not so much of where Stadia is right now, but where it's going to go. Like it has the potential to really push gaming further than we've seen it so far. Yeah, so looking back, I'm like, man, what are these people talking about? And because I seen videos, like I seen a video, the one guy was saying, oh, we got a gigabit internet speed in our fucking building or whatever. And first I'm like, shit, how the hell did you get a fucking gigabit? Like, I only got 100 megabytes down. And I know some of y'all like, motherfucker, I wish I had 100 megabytes down. Like, you speak that shit like it's nothing, but I'm looking at it like, that's a tenth of the speed of what they're claiming to have. Now, granted, if they got a gigabit Ethernet connection speed for their building, it looks like they're in like a big studio or office building or whatever. Like, it's probably tons of motherfuckers on that goddamn on that internet connection. So just because you're paying for a gigabit, after that shit get divvied out to everybody, like, you're probably not getting a gig. But anyway, like I said, mine's 100 down, 20 up. Normally I get around 80 something down. My upload stage pretty consistent at about 19 to 20. If anyone doesn't know cable internet, you share that shit with everybody on the same cable line as you, so you never really get what you actually pay for. You get, I would say, normally about 80 to 85% of it. Anyway, so I'm playing it and my shit is smooth, and I'll show some gameplay. I actually wanted to show the whole like Destiny Strike and everything I did, but I know them joints is long. Nobody really want to look at all that. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to post the whole thing, but I want people to see like, yo, this joint is very playable and it's very smooth considering what you're fucking doing. You are streaming a 4K video game. Now, sometimes only 1080p, depending on your connection speed, but you're streaming that on demand and playing it off of a fucking Ultra Chromecast stick. Like, you have to let that sink in, like, what you're actually doing. And people are comparing it to, like, oh, well, the graphics are just as good as PlayStation 4 Pro and just as good as Xbox One X. Like, it should be beating it. It's like, no. Stadia is really not even out yet. Like, everyone who has the Founders Edition and things like that, like, we pretty much paid for early access. This isn't the real Google Stadia launch. This is, like I said, it's a glorified beta, and it's open to the public if you want to pay for it. Now, when the Google Stadia base comes out back in, well, not back, but in fucking March of 2020, that's the real launch. Like, that's the one that's going to everybody. That's their wide scale approach. So you got to look at it like all of us, me, Roger, everyone else out there who pre-ordered the Founders Edition for the Project Stadia. Like, you got to realize, like, this is a glorified beta. This is not the actual launch of the product. The actual launch doesn't come until March of next year, when they also offer the base one that's free. So everything we're getting right now is pretty much just that glorified beta, and they're still ironing out the bugs. Now, granted, when I play, I don't have any bugs. Like, it plays great. Now, granted, every once in a while, it'll do a little hiccup. But like I said, depending on when you actually think about what you're doing, like, for you to get a slight hiccup every once in a while, like, that's mind blowing to me. Like, that's fucking crazy. And the real reason why I think people should actually give Stadia a shot is, like I said before, is the convenience. Like, this was the part that really sold me on Stadia. Now, like I said, I got the Founders Edition, so I got Stadia Pro, so we get the 2 free games every month. And when it first came out, we got Destiny 2 with all the DLC up until now, including Shadowkeep. And you also got the, Samurai Showdown. I didn't really care much for that game, but Destiny was really like my goal to play it and figure out, like, okay, what this really got to offer me. And then the following month, which is this month when you guys see it, we got Farming Simulator and what was the other game? Oh, and the Tomb Raider. So I haven't even played Tomb Raider, so I'm going to try to play that. But farming, I ain't fucking farming. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But yeah, so first thing I did was like, all right, well, let's see how this joint holds up to the PS4 Pro. And you really can't tell the difference. But like I said, Stadia just came out. So when you look at it off that, you're like, okay, they got nowhere to go but up. And since we don't have actual physical hardware like the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever, like, this isn't set in stone graphics. Like, everything we're connected to is virtual up on the back end. We're just remoting in as a client. So they can upscale and, fix scalability issues or whatever easily on the back end without us having to purchase other stuff. Granted, I'm not saying now, like, down the line, they might try to sell you packages or some shit. Like, if you want the latest and greatest fucking video cards or whatever, obviously it'd be virtual, but they might charge you more. I don't fucking know. I don't know about that, so I ain't speaking to that. But just from what we have now, like, when I went to download Destiny 2, well, I can't even say download anymore for Google Stadia. When I went to play it, because that's literally what the fuck it is. Like, I'm like, oh, Destiny 2 with all the DLC. Oh, it's free. You're like, yeah, I want that. Let me click. Oh, let me claim that. Okay. Oh, I can play it now. Oh, I'm actually playing the game now. Oh, I don't have to download no patches. Oh, I don't have to download the game at all. And if you, like I said, when I was talking about Roger's video, you look at Roger's video, Roger had already bought Destiny 2 on the PC, but he hadn't played it, so he didn't have it installed or whatever. So he had to go re-download it and install it for his video that he was doing on Stadia. That shit was a 4 fucking hour download to get that game back. And it's been the same way for me, especially on my PlayStation 4 Pro. You play these games, and even though they upgrade, but they update in the background, and that shit slowly eats into your fucking storage. Like, mine only has, I believe it's 500 gigs free or some shit, or maybe it's the terabit. I forget which one the fucking Pro has. All I know is that shit's never enough. And so, like, when I download these games that I buy off PlayStation Store, or even when I go buy them at the store, the actual physical copy, like, I still have to sit there and wait for this game to install. And then I still have to, especially when you buy the physical copy from the store, it's going to have an update, especially if it's day one. Like, you're going to have some patch that's like 2 to 4 gigs. I can't even play it when I want to. You don't have that issue with Stadia. Like, literally, it's pay and play. Like, Stadia is like a fucking prostitute, bro. Like, literally. Like, you pay and you get to play fucking immediately. Like, so that's a weird fucking, yeah, that's a real weird comparison, but that shit is really true though. Like it's just really true. Like, Stadia is like a prostitute. Like, you know, with PlayStation and PC, like, you gotta take them out, you gotta wine and dine, and you gotta put all this extra time in just to get to play. Stadia is like, oh, you want this? Like, this is what it costs. And you like, okay, here's my money. And Stadia's like, okay, here's some play. And you're like, oh, this is amazing. And that won me over, just that alone. And that don't even speak about, like, I get all these games, like, it's only been out for 2 months. So I've gotten 4 free games so far. And the worst part about having a lot of free games on the PS4 Pro is that you can claim them and you don't have to download them. A lot of times I claim games that's free. I don't download them because space limitations. Like, I can't eat up all the space on my console. And that is another convenient thing about Stadia. Like, you can claim all these games and they're not taking up any space. You know, you don't have any storage to manage. Like, it's literally like, you want all these games? Fine. You can get as many games as you want. And every time you want to play it, it's immediately ready. It's instantly accessible. You don't have to wait for nothing. Like, say if we ain't played a game in 6 months. Like, I haven't touched that game. And somebody's like, hey, yo, you want to play some Destiny or something? I'm like, yeah, I want to play some fucking Destiny. Play. I'm playing that shit with Stadia. On PlayStation or Xbox or on PC or something, it's like, I haven't played in 6 months. Oh, let me play this game. It's like, whoa, bitch, you ain't played in 6 months. You know how many motherfucking patches you got? How many patches you got waiting? 10, 12 gigs worth of fucking patches, and then you got wait. You're like, oh, hey, give me like 30 minutes. Like, I'm gonna get some food real quick while this joint downloading. That's what you end up saying. I found myself saying that a ton on consoles. It never really bothered me much because that's what I expected. So when it happens, I'm like, oh, you know, same old. But when I got Stadia, I was like, yo, this is crazy to be able to just play a game when I want to fucking play it. Now, my whole experience comes strictly off the Google Chromecast Ultra. Like, I didn't play any on the browser and I didn't do any on the phone, mostly because I got a fucking iPhone. We can't do the phone shit yet. But I didn't use none of the browser because honestly, I had the Google Ultra Chromecast. Like, I just play off that. And I've gotten the excellent connection before. And like I said, I only have 100 megabytes down. Most of the time, mine is on good. That's usually what I get. But I'm always on Wi-Fi. Like, cause Google always says like, yo, if you're on Wi-Fi, you gotta be in the same room as your router. But they do suggest that you actually run it wired. Like, that's the best possible scenario for you to play the game. But yeah, I do Wi-Fi, and my wireless router's downstairs, like in the living room. We upstairs right now. Like, we ain't nowhere near my router. I got a good ass router. You know, that shit pumps throughout the whole house. But obviously that's not what they recommend, even though I have a good router. But my shit plays good. But the loading time on the PS4 Pro, ridiculous, bro. Like, you could go fucking plant a garden waiting on Destiny 2 to load up. Like, you could go fucking paint a car, you could build a statue, you could fucking die and come back to life. Like, there's so much shit you could do before you could get into the fucking game. Like, God, I hate it so much. And I actually timed it. That shit was like a minute and, I think it was like a minute 37 or a minute 38 seconds for my PlayStation 4 Pro to load up Destiny 2. That's how long it takes for it to get from the press X to start until you get to pick your guardian and then you float into orbit. Stadia, shit's like 28 seconds. That shit is night and day. Like, it feels so crazy to save over a minute of time, and I'm not even on actual physical hardware. And that's what I mean by, like, where this is starting from, it has nowhere to go but up. Like, if they just improve on it by like 30% or something, like, consoles better watch out. And you can tell Sony and Microsoft's already worried about it because they working together on the cloud stuff. They know that this is the future. People hate it, and I feel like a lot of people that knock it is because they got, whether they know it or not, and they might not even be cognizant of the shit, but they got a bias towards it. Like, people are real protective over what they know. Like, a lot too many people really like change. You know, change is a lot of times scary for people. So they look at this like, man, they ready to take all our physical. They're ready to take, all my games, how I'm really going to own my games if they all virtual. What happens if Google Stadia, doesn't work out and they just fucking, forfeit the shit. And they're like, man, we ain't doing this no more. Then what happened? I wasted all that money. Like, I don't really see that happening because I see Google as they really have like a super head start on this shit. Like, they're the only ones with, hey, we can actually play these games without physical hardware, and we're showing you that it's very viable. Like, the shit works. And PlayStation and Xbox don't even have anything at market yet. They're working together to make the shit happen. So you know that they feel real threatened by what this is. You've never heard of them two working together. They hate each other, or they hate each other, whatever. But for them to start working back together behind the scenes on trying to get this cloud gaming and shit working, that lets you know that they've seen what Google Stadia is, and they're like, yo, like we really need to figure something out to compete with that, because right now this is the future, and this is pretty much akin to like when music went digital. Back in the day, everybody bought CDs. Everybody had a damn CD. You had to buy CDs if you wanted new music, and there was no such thing as having like fucking iPod or having Spotify or Pandora or Apple Music, or Google Music, to where you was just grabbing digital music as much as you wanted for, some monthly rate, like usually like $10 a month. That's what I pay for Apple Music. So it's like that wasn't a thing. So everybody had like, big ass CD binders, and I had the shit too, with mixtapes and everything. And you had to carry the shit around with you everywhere you wanted to go. Like, you had 500 CDs. You want 500 CDs? You better take them shits in your car. Like, if you want to listen to that shit, you better have it on you. Now, once that digital shit started hitting, people was like, real iffy about it. It's pretty much the same way people feel about physical games now. They felt about their physical music, their CDs. But then, got that convenience. Those motherfuckers toting around that goddamn 30-pound binder of CDs, and then you had motherfuckers just pull up on you with that digital. It was like, poop, I got 10,000 CDs on here, cuz. It was like, 10,000? So you just play them all? Like, yeah, I just play them whenever I want. But like, them joints get scratched up? Like, nah, cuz they don't get scratched up. Like, well, them joints, they don't be skipping it? Nah, they don't skip. Like, I can take it wherever I want. It's whatever. It's like, that you might have something there. And that's what's going to happen with Stadia. Like, people are going to get tired of like having to worry about storage. I think people still will love their physical copies. As you can see, I got physical shit behind me. Like, I love my physical stuff, but I do understand convenience. Like, people are going to be like, yo, I'm tired of worrying about how much storage is on my console. I'm tired of fucking having to install these games every time I buy them, even when I buy them physical. Install them, and then I gotta wait another hour for some patches to download. Like, I'm tired of that shit. And that's where Stadia comes in. That's where Stadia really has its foothold on the market, is because it erases all of that. All of that inconvenience, they erase it. Now, granted, like I said, they're not perfect when it comes to like consistency of playing the game. Like, yeah, you might have a hiccup here or there, but it just launched. It just fucking launched. Like, internet's going to continually getting better in America. Internet's gotten better probably 10 to 50 fold of what we used to have like a few years ago. So as everything starts to get better, like, this service is going to get better. And that's why PlayStation and Sony, that's why PlayStation and Xbox, like, they're fucking worried about this shit, because they know this is what's coming down the line. Same thing, like, they don't want to be a blockbuster. Shit, you see what the fuck Netflix did? The blockbuster strangled that shit out. Also, like, when it comes to latency or whatever, like, a lot of people, like I said, when I was speaking about the whole gigabit, dude with the gigabit Ethernet connection, he was sitting there hitting the button, he was like, poof, and it was like, jump, jump. It was like, I already felt some kind of way about that. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. And when I play it, I've never played on PC, so I can't speak to PC, but I've never, ever noticed the difference between input on the Stadia using the actual fucking controller, like the way you're supposed to use it, not wired. It's supposed to be its actual own client on your internet, so that it's sending the input straight to your router, just like the Chromecast, is fucking communicating with the cloud or whatever to get the game. So I've never noticed a difference in input speed. It feels just like playing on PlayStation to me, other than it feels way better than playing on PlayStation, because on Stadia you have 60 frames per second. And I never thought that meant anything, because like I said, never played on PC, so I've always been a console guy. And I would hear Terry, he loves PC. Roger, he plays PC. I would say Terry loves PC more than Roger though. But Terry would always speak about like, you know, why Destiny is so much better on PC, like it's so much smoother, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I always looked at it, was like, man, whatever, bro. Like you just PC guy, you just try and flex, try and, you know, make it seem like PC is so great, better than console, better than us peasants apparently. But I played that shit, I was like, holy fuck, like this shit's smooth. This shit buttery. Like why didn't I ever know about this? So yeah, like I like Destiny 2 better on Stadia than I actually like it on the PlayStation. And I feel no way about saying that. Like I don't feel bad at all. I don't feel like I turned my back on Sony. I feel like, you know, I want them to get this cloud gaming up and running because I'm a Sony loyalist. I know I am. I've been PlayStation since I can remember, since they've been a PlayStation, damn it. But yeah, they need to get on it and get their own service out there. And because right now, like I'm really enjoying Google Stadia. Like it's just great. So I guess in closing, what I really want to say to everybody out there, like, yo, don't even worry about what the fuck I just said about this shit. Just do like I did. Don't listen to other people. And it seems weird because I'm sitting there making a YouTube video about Stadia to try to, like, I guess influence people or at least let people know like what the fuck I had going on. So it feels weird to say like, yo, don't listen to what the fuck I just said. Like all that shit I just said, man, cancel that shit. But don't listen to it, man. Go get it. Even if you don't even want to buy it, that's cool. Don't go out and buy it. Wait till March when the shit come out for free. You can buy yourself a Google Ultra Chromecast. You already had a Chromecast, even if you don't like it. And the controller's like $60, $60 or $70. That's like a game. I don't feel like that's killing anybody's pockets to try it out. But yeah, go try it for yourself. Figure out if you actually like it. Don't listen to all these people saying, oh, Google Stadia is unplayable. Oh, it's dead on launch. Because the shit's not dead. Like people is either they outright lying or they just biased. I don't know which one it is, to be honest, but it has to be one or the other. Because I'm not having that experience. And just remember, like, especially for people who have it right now, remember that we at launch. Technology does not launch well. Never does. Anything that comes out day one always has a rough launch. Nothing goes smooth, always has bugs. Because nowadays, the launch is the true final beta test. That's just how it is, for better or for worse, whether you like the shit or not. That's really how these companies are going. They push it out, get it out, and they're like, look, whatever's wrong, bro, we can fix that shit on the back end. And Stadia is really able to just say, we can just fix it on the back end because we don't have no hardware. We have a controller, and we have a Google Ultra Chromecast. That's it. Like, you know, if PlayStation shipped the console out, and that shit had like a major hardware bug in it, that's a fucking super blow to them because they're like, man, we're gonna have to replace people's PlayStations. Kind of like how the Xbox 360s were dying left and right. They had to end up having to replace them shits for free because they were fucking up. They were faulty hardware wise. Stadia didn't have that issue. They're like, yo, whatever is messing up, we can fix it on the back end. And that's a huge advantage over people who are pumping out actual physical systems. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Enjoyed this new video full of cussing. I told you there's gonna be a lot of cussing. And I love cussing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that shit relaxes me. It really do though. Like, I don't know, it's just me. But if you didn't and you watched it, I don't know why, because I told you at the beginning I was gonna be cussing. I was gonna be cussing a lot. And I feel like that I'm a man of my word. So I had to put these motherfucking cuss words in here. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.